Hello and welcome to the final battle of Week 8. This is between Reich and the Burger Kingdras and Colin and the New York Latios. Now this battle was delayed a bit due to some unforeseen circumstances, but it got played and that's all there is to it. If you've seen the weekly recap, you know how this ends, but if you haven't, I'm not going to spoil it for you because that would be mean and I'm not that kind of a person. But that also doesn't mean you should go and see what happened, because that would also not be cool. But anyways, so the Mega Pokemon on each side are Mega Gallade for Colin, who made an appearance today, and Rag doesn't seem to have his Mega Pokemon, but normally it would be Mega Blastoise. It did not show up. The Z Pokemon. For Colin, there is Z Any Superior, Z Attack Drapion, neither of which showed up. And for Reich, there is Z Any Dragonite, it is here today, and Z Attack Kabutops, which is not here today. First impressions, no Politoed, so no rain today for Reich. Still pretty risky bringing Ferrothorn, but I don't really see a hard Pharaoh counter on Colin's team. I guess Galley gets Fire Punch and Latios can get HP Fire or I think Mystical Fire. But even then, Ferrothorn looks like it could hit pretty decently hard. A lot of this team is very fast, or at least three out of the 6 Pokemon on Colin's team are pretty fast, so Gyro Ball can hit very hard, especially on Tapu Koko since it's relatively frail, and Gallade as well. Even Mega Gallade isn't very physically bulky. What else? Nidoking could show up pretty good. It's got favorable enough matchups against part of this team, including Tapu Koko and Lycanroc. Earthquake kind of can just sweep decently well. Gotta be careful of Vaporeon though, and also needs to be careful of, especially careful of Latios. Actually, Latios looks pretty good. Draco Meteor, if Colin can set up rocks, Draco Meteor can probably take care of, I'd say maybe 3 Pokemon. Maybe 3. I'm not sure what kind of investments Orbeetle has. I've never really used it that much. But if it's not especially bulky, Draco Meteor could probably take care of it pretty nicely. Lycanroc is an interesting bring, but I think I have a feeling I know why. Looks like 3 out of the 6 Pokemon on Reich's team are all weak to rock, so a No-Guard Stone Edge, since it can't miss, looks pretty spicy. It'll do massive damage to Zapdos, and it'll do good damage to Dragonite and to Orbeetle. Wigglytuff is... I don't know. Wigglytuff looks interesting, though. If it can switch in on Latios, I guess, maybe to call out a Draco Meteor, I don't know. Maybe it's competitive, and or maybe it's just full cheese, like cute Charm. I don't know, Charm maybe. Confide, I don't know. I'm very interested to see what Wigglytuff is going to do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this one started. As far as leads go, I think Ferrothorn, get rocks up, maybe just go for a Gyro Ball right off the bat, and then probably Lycanroc, maybe not Lycanroc actually, maybe Vaporeon. So we have Latios and Orbeetle. Latios is Scarfed. Interesting the switch out to Chowder the Wigglytuff. There's the Mystical Fire, so I was right about the Mystical Fire. Oh god. Okay, so competitive raises its attack by 2 stages, its special attack by 2 stages, even though Mystical Fire dropped its special attack. Out comes Lycanroc. I don't know what's about to happen. Ah, teleport. This will probably switch into Ferrothorn. No, Nidoking instead. Does it outspeed? It can outspeed. Now out comes Chrom, so we're no longer Alm or Marth. We have Chrom now. Earth Power does 54%. Huge damage to Gallade. If it had been able to Mega Evolve, it probably would have done a bit less damage. But out comes Latios, maybe to call out another Earth Power. But instead, Reich switches out into Orbeetle. Bug Buzz might... That's not going to kill, but it'll do a lot of damage. Mystical Fire does only 51%, lowering special attack. Orbeetle looks like it's pretty specially bulky. U-turn does 30%. It's a good amount for a U-turn. This will probably switch into... Yeah, Wigglytuff again. Colin does not want to use another Mystical Fire. I don't quite know what Wigglytuff would do with it. Anyway, out comes Lycanroc again. This probably has Iron Head. Ah, Wigglytuff has Wish. Wigglytuff sitting at 99%. Turn 6. Pokemon still seem to be in pretty good condition for the most part. Out comes Nidoking. Probably another Stone Edge. Ah, Swords Dance instead. Again, there's a question of outspeeding here with Lycanroc. Colin's not going to risk it. He sends out Vaporeon. Probably to take an Earth Power. It does. Doing 26%. Vaporeon's probably going to use Wish, and then switch out into Gallade. Or probably not Gallade anymore, if Zapdos has Air Slash. Oh, it just wishes to itself. That works. This is going to use Volt Switch. Not really, because Protect is up. Now Vaporeon's at full health. Maybe a Toxic here. Just to try and cripple a little bit. Volt Switch crits with the Wakan Berry. Only does 30%. That crit would have been 60. Out comes Ferrothorn. This is probably going to call out a Toxic. No, a Wish again. Interesting. Now Colin probably wants to switch into Gallade or Latios. He does. These Gyro Balls are either going to do Gyro Ball or Stealth Rock. Gyro Ball KOs. Like I said, Ferrothorn, Gyro Ball could do a lot of damage to these really fast Pokemon like Tapu Koko and Latios. Mega Gallade has to be very careful too, unless it has, even if it has Fire Punch. This thing could be Rocky Helmet and I can just do a ton of recoil damage more or less. Close combat, one shot, drop special defense, Iron Barbs, no Rocky Helmet. It's now 5-5. Chrom looking a little bit worse for the wear, though. I don't think this Gallade's going to have Ice Punch. It obviously doesn't. Out comes Tapu Koko. It might be an Air Slash. No, another Volt Switch. Going to do 22% to Tapu Koko. Now out comes Dragonite. If Tapu Koko has Dazzling Gleam, it might do a little bit to Dragonite. It does. Just 29%. That takes care of Multiscale. What's Dragonite going to do? And it's going to use Dragon Dance. So this thing probably has Earthquake then, because it likely outspeeds now. I think Colin recognizes that and sends out Scizor. Earthquake does 52%. That's a lot to Scizor. Bullet Punch is going to do 55%. Good enough damage to Dragonite, but Earthquake is going to KO. It's now 5-4 in Reich's favor. And out comes Mega Gallade. It might have Sucker Punch to try and deal with... Oh, Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak also helps. Any priority move would be good for taking out Dragonite. It's now 4-4. Best case scenario for Reich, I think, is to send out Orbeetle. Either Orbeetle or Zapdos. Out comes Zapdos. Yeah, Zapdos is at full health, isn't it? And Orbeetle is not. The Orbeetle is not even close, so Fire Punch would definitely KO it. Anyways, let's see what Zapdos does. Probably a Volt Switch. There it is. I have a feeling this either is Specs or Scarf. Probably Specs, because that Volt Switch looks like it's doing a lot of damage even as a resist. I think Tapu Koko gets Psychic. Not like it's going to matter. Colin switches out into Vaporeon, taking an Earth Power. Does 29%. Nidoking can get Thunder Punch, so Colin needs to be careful of that. Or Thunderbolt, even. There goes Vaporeon, and that's the Cleric for this team, so Colin's going to have an uphill battle, especially with these last 3 Pokemon. If Colin can outspeed with a Psycho Cut or Zen Headbutt. Triple Axle misses. That's unfortunate for Colin. 90% accuracy is... really, it's more like 75%. Anyways, Earth Power is going to KO. 4-2 in Reich's favor now. It's going to be an uphill battle here. If Tapu Koko does not have Psychic, which I doubt it does. Does not. Dazzling Gleam does 22%. This is likely going to be game over for Colin. Unfortunately, Earth Power will definitely KO. I don't know what Lycanroc can do here, if anything. Stone Edge does hit, does 37%. If that crit... nah, I wouldn't have killed. But... good game from both teams. It's a 4-0 victory for Reich. Nidoking did remarkably well. Ferrothorn did good too. But, yeah, every Pokemon seemed to do their job pretty well on both sides. Vaporeon pushing to itself, keeping itself healthy. But yeah, overall, an unfortunate miss kind of turned the tide very much against Colin. Who knows what would have happened if Triple Axle had actually hit? That probably would have just... that could have been game, depending on if Galliot had Poison Jab or not. If it did, then it's pretty good for him. Considering that Zapdos can't do all too terribly much. And a Stone Edge just cripples Orbeetle. But that's the game. Up next will be matches from Week 9.